This is another 7 minutes on the Sabbath day, and if you're listening, I want to thank you for listening, because tonight I'm going to get this is getting bizarre. This world is getting bizarre when you start finding out what's going on behind the scenes. But first of all, before I start, I would like to clarify a few things that I said last video about the underworld, about what happens when you die. I told y'all there's no heaven. All heaven means is sky. The kingdom of heaven, kingdom in the sky. But like I told you, it's about the underworld, or as in Chronicles of Riddick, all movies are real, the underverse. You have to cross over to get to underverse, which is death. But all heaven is, what y'all call heaven, is the island of the blessed, where a division of the underworld. Now you don't actually go into the underworld. All you do is go into another dimension that you have provided for yourself with your karma and your DMT in your spinal column. And your DMT in your spinal column. There's a little error right there, excuse me. But when that DMT is activated and you blast off on this dream that you don't wake up from, that's the underworld. That's where you live out your karma in this other dimension. That's all it is. It's no big deal, but you don't have to worry about that now because you're not dead. We're still living. You don't have to deal with that till you're dead. That's why you try to live this life in a good way, so you don't have to deal with those bad parts of the underworld or the bad dimensions. But tonight, this is going to get very heavy, because this is very serious stuff. We're going to talk a little bit about Donald Trump, who I will bet you is a 33rd degree Freemason. Nobody knows, but if you look at his apartment in New York City, there's a lot of Masonic emblems in there. And as I said, I'm not against Freemasons. But these Freemasons need to come clean and tell the truth. Let's go to The Simpsons. Show y'all all love Homer Simpson. The first time I heard anything on The Simpsons happening was when Prince died, that it was 8 years earlier, Homer killed him with his guitar. Now this was on The Simpsons. Well, darling, that ain't nothing. There's been more things on The Simpsons that have come true than you can imagine. They predicted years in advance on The Simpsons, and it became a reality. Could that be because the creator of The Simpsons was a 33rd degree Freemason? Just like Walt Disney? Just like Billy Graham? How long does this list go on? Sylvester Stallone? John Carpenter, the great horror writer? Look, Freemasons. Is my eye illuminated? You know what I am. I've told you this before. My uncle was a 33rd degree Freemason. He put this ring on my finger. You know what I am. You people need to tell these people what's going on, what the truth is, instead of playing them like a fiddle, because they don't believe unless you get slapped in the face with it. But all these famous people in the world, Hollywood, everywhere, are Masons. And they're telling you things that are actually true because they know how to play your mind with mind control, and you won't believe it if it's a movie. It just don't work that way in your mind. But I want you to go on your computer. My videographer is a very good researcher in these topics. She brings them to my attention. And when you see all the connections to Freemasonry, Donald Trump, The Simpsons, the list just goes on forever. Just like another example of this. Time travel is real. These people are doing this. There's a thing where Eisenhower in 1954 signed a treaty with some aliens. Read. And I was born in 1954. Coincidence? I don't think so. Because I got some DNA in me that's just not quite normal. Anybody who's known me my whole life will tell you this. They don't know what not normal, but they know it's not normal. Well, he signed a treaty with these aliens, and they gave him something called the Orion Cube. Look it up. And you could look in this cube, and you saw the possibilities of future events. How do you think Matt Groening made all these things come true on The Simpsons? How do you think John Carpenter made the movie They Live? One of the greatest movies ever made about interdimensional beings, because they know about them. This cube tells you a lot of stuff. The cube used to be in the hands of the government. But the last time they saw it, it went to the Freemason temple, the Scottish Rite Temple in Washington, D.C., and nobody's ever heard of it again. because Freemasons run your world. They know exactly what's going to happen in the future. So how can you not make the right decisions if you know how to play people knowing what the future is going to be? 1893, there was a man named Ingersoll Lockwood, Lockwood, who wrote 2 books. The first book, I think, was called Baron Trump's Marvelous Under the World or Under the Earth Journey, something to this effect. The second book was called The Last President. Donald Trump in the second book, Last President. Donald Trump in the first book. Baron Trump, his son's described perfectly in this book in 1893. How he doesn't talk, he just looks around very inquisitively, because Baron Trump is a time traveler. He's here from another time, and that's why he's the way he is. Everybody thinks he's autistic. He's not autistic. He's just looking around like he's, wow, look at this, because he's a time traveler. This is totally bizarre to him. And that's why he just looks like, whoa, because he knows. We're in serious trouble if the truth doesn't come out. Freemasons need to stand up. If you know a Freemason, you need to look him in the face and say, come on, man, tell me the truth here. Don't I deserve to know the truth? Black Masons hiding it from their black brothers. Tell these people the truth. We need to stop these lies. Please. As I've said before, and I'll say again right here, Baphomet, step into the light. Man up. Make yourself visible. The Master shall reveal his self, Freemasons. Either put up or shut up. This has gone on long enough. Everybody thinks it's just some club. It ain't no club. They're controlling your world. Donald Trump made his crest, over there in Scotland at his country.